Hey, everybody. Happy Monday night. I hope you've had an amazing weekend and that you're getting ready for Christmas. Me? Well, let me just say I'm a mom of four, three of which are currently at home, and I'm going to have to bop one of them upside the head. Teenagers can be the filthiest things on this side of the earth. One of my darling children decided to put stuff into one of the trash cans upstairs, not take the stuff out. And oh, by the way, forgot to put a liner in the trash can and didn't take the stuff out. So we were just taking out the trash because said child is away for a couple of days. And guess what? We found, stinky, rotten food that mom just got to clean up. So I am momming so hard I can't stand it. Let me know if you have ever had teenagers who can be boorish, slobbish pigs. Tonight I want to talk about business. And does your business model support itself? My business model has to support me and 4 kids. Okay, 3 of them. One is out of we don't have to support her anymore. But the reality is my business has to support me, my family. My husband does work. He does very well. But part of the thing with my business is I am taking care of all of my kids in various capacities. They have all competing, differing requirements for time. My oldest lives in a group home, so there's always something or other questions, social workers, all kinds of medical stuff that we have to deal with, not so medical stuff, just logistics, right? Being a mom takes time, just like cleaning out trash cans when we don't feel like it takes time. And that all takes energy. There's only 24 hours in a day, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I have never quite managed to figure out how to get more hours in my day other than being more efficient. And some of those ways of being more efficient involve automation, they involve doing other things. But at the end of the day, I still have 24 hours a day and I have to sleep some of them. And burning yourself out is frankly not sexy because you can't do the things you need to do for your loved ones, for your family, take care of yourself if you are completely burned out. Which brings me back to my question. Does your business work for you, or are you working for your business? Does your business model hold? One of the things that I see, particularly with female entrepreneurs, is that many of us, me included, are married. I've been married for almost 29 and a half years. Actually, today is 29 and a half years. Going and looking at the calendar. But that means that we have other competing demands. We have kids, we have other things. Many women are not so fortunate as to have another source of income in the household. Maybe they're single. But for many of us who have kids, families, spousal support, alimony, those kinds of things, we're balancing the time and the money equation. And they can be really, really tricky. So we have to get super smart with how we are making money in our business. Do you make enough money in your business? Can you make enough money in your business? If all conditions held great, could you actually make enough money in your business to support yourself reasonably to a reasonable standard of livelihood? Or is that not the case? In many cases with women entrepreneurs, I see them not making enough money to support themselves the way that they need to support themselves, or their families, or add enough income to their families to really and truly make this business, side hustle, whatever you want to call it, worthwhile. Why? Why is that? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I have a bunch of them. Um, One of the reasons that I did my concentration at Duke in entrepreneurship and innovation is because I'm passionate about women entrepreneurs. I'm passionate about women in leadership and women in STEM fields in particular. We have a lot of really, really unique demands on our time. And women in general have differing goals for our businesses. We're here to support ourselves and our families. We're not here necessarily to build mega empires. So that a lot of times, builds into our business decisions. A lot of times we're doing what we have with the skills that we have. Cleaning houses, running errands, doing household domestic chores, doing crafts, doing those things. And many of those types of services tend to pay somewhat less. And the reality is, with small handcrafted businesses, many of them are never going to be more than a hobby business, because if you take the amount of time it takes to produce a thing, a widget, whatever you're producing, and you figure out how much that item you just sold should cost, you're never going to make enough money or be able to produce enough widgets to be able to actively support yourself. And it kind of sucks. So there has to be a way to look at our numbers and figure out, is this business going to support me in a way that I need for this business to support me? Will the business model actually hold? If I say I need to make $60,000 or $100,000 next year, are you capable, even with your business, if all things were perfect, of actually making $60,000 or $100,000 or $200,000 next year in your business? A lot of us never do the math. A lot of us never sit down with a spreadsheet and paper and figure out, well, for me to make $60,000 next year after expenses, I need to sell $100,000 worth of stuff. In order for me to make $100,000 worth of stuff, I need to do this, 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 and this. Is that even physically possible? If I were in a best case scenario, could I actually sell enough stuff to make that kind of money? Could I actually produce enough stuff, enough widgets? Are there enough hours in a day? If you look at it, takes me 20 hours to produce a widget and I sell it for $20, chances are working for $1 an hour, minus expenses, is probably not going to work very well for your business. And a lot of times we're not factoring in our labor and our costs into running the business. So it is super important to factor these numbers into running the business. Is this thing even capable of producing income in any meaningful quantities? Is it even going to be possible for me to do these things? And be really, really honest with yourself. One of the things I see is, a lot of times maybe the answer is no. Maybe there is a different way to make that kind of money in your business. Maybe you're going to build a TikTok channel or a YouTube channel. Maybe you're going to monetize in other ways. Well, that can work really, really well versus just selling handcrafted items, right? Well, if you create videos of yourself making handcrafted items, that could do very well indeed. So get creative. Think about what you're doing and how you're doing it, and whether this thing will actually make you the kinds of money that you want to make. Is it possible for you to make $60,000 a year off of what you're doing? How many packages would you have to sell? How many items, how many widgets would you have to sell in order to get to 60,000? If you would have to sell 60,000 widgets at $1 each and you're manually producing them, chances are you may not be able to get there. Because you're not going to be able to sell, you're not going to be able to spend enough time selling in order to get there, unless you suddenly start getting wholesale accounts and you start doing things like that to get more widgets out into the market and finding other ways to produce the widgets that aren't doing them by hand. So I want to encourage you guys, look at your numbers, figure out, is this thing going to actually make me money? is this something that I'm doing as a passion project? Passion projects are awesome. Hobbies are great. It doesn't mean that every single one of us has to have a hobby that we monetize. I will tell you that one of my hobbies, a couple of my hobbies are actually doing needlepoint. I do needlepoint tapestries, like big ones, and it takes me about an hour to do a square inch of needlepoint. Um, I will never make any money off of that. I'm never trying to monetize that, right? I bake for people. I have a lot of fun baking in the kitchen. I enjoy making cinnamon rolls. Some of y'all saw some of my hijinks last year making cinnamon rolls, but I'm never going to try to do that as a way to make a living because the costs of production are pretty high. The ability to make profit, unless I do it in vast quantities, is pretty low. So, be really, really honest with yourself. Is this something that is just something fun that I would like to do a few extras of and make maybe a few extra bucks off of? Or is this something that's actually a business? And if it's actually a business, let's talk. Let's figure out if your numbers actually support themselves. So you're going, well, Haley, I'm sure I can't afford to work with you. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I have some really, really affordable packages. But if you don't want to do that, y'all sign up with your local community college. A lot of local community colleges, like our Wake Tech Community College here, has a huge entrepreneurship program that is absolutely phenomenal at a very nominal rate. SCORE, SCORE, literally SCORE, the way you spell SCORE, has mentors that will work with you, that will help you work through your business plan and help you figure out if this business is even feasible in the first place. I'm a big believer in helping people figure out upfront, is this business worth doing or is it not worth doing? And let's figure out how to grow a business. Let's figure out how to make things actually work. Let's figure out how to actually make some money. And when we can do that, things come together in a really, really beautiful way. So let's talk. Let's help you make some money. Let's help you figure out if you're actually able to make some money. And, is this going to be worth it? We'll talk soon. Take care. I'm Haley Graham, the founder of the Women's Entrepreneur Network, and I am passionate about helping small businesses grow and meet their potential. Take care. Bye-bye.